this is the safest place you can be. I think. Remember what Sarah said before? These plants make it so the animals won't even know you're here.
You're just trying to make me feel better. I remember all those stories you told.
Oh, no, no. This is nothing like that. We're in a completely different situation right now.
Ian tries calling the trailer to warn Nick and Sarah that there may be a pissed off Rex headed their way. Oh good, something smart's actually about to happen, so maybe they can actually survive.
He's moving again. Give him more morphine.
We have no idea what his metabolism is. We'll kill him with too much. We'll put him into respiratory arrest. Nick, I need your hand here. Right here. Put some pressure.
Well, that was short-lived. Much how, like, these characters would be in real life. I mean, okay, it's smart that Malcolm tries to call them, but do you think it would be a bad idea to just answer the phone for a few seconds? I don't think you gotta worry about a wrong number.
Come on, hold still, you piece of shit!
Stay right there. Hello?
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is a guy trying to fix a baby T-Rex's leg before the adults show up and knock my trailer over the cliff. There's a lot of rocks at the bottom and it's really storming outside. Maybe I shouldn't have stolen this baby Rex or parked my trailer too close to the edge. Might have been a bad idea.
This is not the Krusty Krab.
No! Man, people could just be so rude. Whatever, since they won't answer it, Malcolm has to go back on foot to tell them in person. He gets there, but...
Would it kill you to pick it up? Help me get this thing out of here.
No, we just said...
Mommy's very angry.
Alright everyone, I hope you really like T-Rexes because now we are going to be seeing them for about another hour. There's almost not another scene in this movie that you will not see a T-Rex. There might actually be 2 scenes that don't have a Rex in it, but we still got like another hour, hour and a half left of this movie, so there's going to be quite a few more scenes left. If I didn't make it clear enough in the Jurassic Park 3 review, this is why I like the Spinosaurus. Not because it did really awesome things, not because I thought its introduction was perfect, because let's be honest, almost everything they did with the Spinosaurus was a complete failure, but because it was something new. That's mainly what I was trying to get at. I'll probably never say it enough times, but I like the T-Rex. I think it's really cool too. But they really overdo it in this movie. They don't look much different from the one in the first, and they don't do anything different than the one in the first. I understand that it was a fan favorite and they likely put 2 instead of 1 because in their minds they thought that would be an amazing sight to see. It's definitely not a bad sight, but we've seen the T-Rex before. We don't see any new large predators. Again, I'll never say this enough times. That is why I like the Spinosaurus. It was something in a Jurassic Park movie that we have never seen before, and it was a huge risk to make, which I was not disappointed with. So, there's my brief T-Rex versus Spinosaurus rant. I'll likely discuss this more in the future if I feel I should, but for now, much bigger things are happening.
This isn't hunting behavior, Ian. Not hunting. They're searching. They came for their infants.
Oh my god, guys! Do we have a scientist in here or something? Cause that was a very good hypothesis. Claps for the smart one!
I got him. Okay.
Muzzle off.
Vaughn, I don't think you're actually supposed to announce what action you're gonna do, but thanks for narrating what you're doing anyway. We probably would never figure out that you took the muzzle off. Okay, I don't care what world you live in, she would be dead. They hand over the baby, and these happen to be the most forgiving T-Rexes I'd ever seen in my life. Oh yeah, and I figured that I might as well just say this. Sarah locks the door.
Going back to the jungle.
Yep, seems like they're gone and all is forgiven.
I use plain, simple English. I don't have any accent that I'm
Oh,
wearing.
shut up.
So that should make an interesting chapter in your book, huh?
I'm sure they realize that this was a big misunderstanding.
T-Rex is now academic.
Hang on, this is gonna be bad.
What? They're still mad? Holy crystal, I had no idea. Maybe it was a pretty stupid idea to have our trailer parked next to the side of a cliff. It's hanging in there, but barely, and... Where did the Rexes go? Why did they just stop there? Whatever. And come on, how is that trailer still hanging on to the cliff? I feel like there's a little bit more weight going off the cliff than there is weight on the cliff. I feel like you could just throw a potato at it and it'll fall off. Eddie drives to the trailer, yes, presumably leaving Kelly above the trees by herself, to help Nick, Sarah, and Ian.
Did you tie this to anything? We're sliding at it!
Real quick, I just want to say, I know they're trying to make this scene very suspenseful, but keep in mind who's actually trapped down there. We have the main character, Ian Malcolm, so you know he's not going to die. We have Sarah, who's the girlfriend of Ian Malcolm, therefore her being an important character means she will not die. And Vince Vaughn is a little bit more famous than Julianne Moore, so you know he's not going to die either. Again, it's great that they try to build suspense here, but when you think about that scenario and think about the people who are actually in it, you sort of realize that there's really nothing there to keep you on the edge of your seat. And people, I'm just gonna say, this probably would have been my favorite scene. It was so close to being my favorite, but... Oh, okay, now the Rexes come back? Okay, it might have been because of the sound of the vehicle that lured them here again, but... God damn it, just show it. And this is why what could have been my favorite scene ended up being my least favorite scene, period. I really liked Eddie, and there was no reason for him to get killed off, especially in possibly the most painful way anyone has died in all three films. A velociraptor jumping in your face, that can be pretty painful. Getting blinded, paralyzed, then eaten, kinda sorta painful. Getting literally stomped on and then eaten by a Spinosaurus, maybe some discomfort. But two fully grown T-Rexes literally ripping you in half? How could that not be the most painful? And you know what? It just had to happen to one of my favorite characters, man! I mean, why did the Rexes even come back? Why were they so mad to begin with? I mean, Oh! Right! Sarah and Nick technically kidnapped a baby T-Rex and brought it to their trailer, which initially led the Rexes to their trailer. So, technically, it's because of Sarah and Nick that Eddie dies. No. You, over there. You, come on over here. Yeah, center yourself, you know, at the top of the screen. And, these colors ain't gonna work out, so, so there. So because of that, I guess they deserve to be the luckiest people in the world since they go straight through the trailer as it finally falls off the cliff. Okay, when did they get here, and why do the freaking T-Rexes disappear at the weirdest times? I don't care. So now everybody is in one big buffet group, since the dinosaurs that Peter trapped destroyed their camp, and because every single communication device that our main characters had were on the trailer, they all have one more chance to communicate with somebody outside the island. There is a visiting center somewhere on the island that runs on thermal power. As you could probably imagine, there are some things that they're gonna have to watch out for on the way there. The T-Rexes, because, you know, they're the main stars of the movie, let's be honest. And
Velociraptors.
let's see, how far are we into this movie so far? Uh-huh. Cool, so only now Velociraptors get brought up?
That's why we plan to keep to the outer rim.
Wait a minute. What's that?
You see what I mean, people? Why hire people to hunt animals they don't know the name of or anything about? Honestly, raptors should be one of the most common dinosaurs you should know when going on an island full of wild... Yeah, you know what's gonna happen. You know, what's actually funny is that they do have a dinosaur guide there. He seems to be the only person there, aside from our main heroes, who know what dinosaurs are.
Zognathus triassicus, found by Frost in Bavaria in 1913.
Is it dangerous?
No, I wouldn't think so. Compies been presumed to be scavengers, like jackals.
Velociraptor, carnivore, pack hunter. About 2 meters tall, long snout, binocular vision, strong dexterous forearms, and killing claws on both feet.
He knows the names of them, and he can even give little details about them. And because he has a tiny bit of uniqueness to him that actually kind of makes him memorable, clearly that means he's not gonna last long. At least, I guess, they acknowledged what Eddie did, so they didn't just completely forget about him.
Rex just fed, so he won't stalk us for food. Just fed? I assume you're talking about Eddie? You might show a little respect. The man saved our lives by giving his.
Then his troubles are over.
But let's just get this movable feast underway. Okay, if I can just relieve some steam here. I feel like this would be a good time to say, Lost World has a lot of pointless padding. For those of you who aren't familiar with that term, it means scenes that were included to make the movie longer, even if it has no importance to the main story. And we have a perfect example of that right here. You see, this guy named Dieter, not Peter, kept trying to use some sort of shock thingy on Compsognathus. Compsognathus? AKA the little dinosaurs that were attacking the little girl in the beginning. Which already is pretty pointless to see. But here, he goes a little ways into the forest to pee.
Pee?
Yes. Instead of saying, hey guys, don't look this way, alright? I gotta release the lemonade gates. I'm surprised that no one else has to go right now, but that's what I'll be doing, so don't look. While trying to pee, he gets visited by a Compsognathus. While trying to pee, he gets visited by a Compsognathus. Can't say it fast. While trying to pee, he gets visited by a Compsognathus again. He gets a little turned around after getting startled by it, and eventually falls down a hill and losing his weapon in the process. He tries calling out to a friend of his to hopefully get back with the group, but unfortunately that friend of his does something stupid, what a shocker, and listens to headphones with the music blasting on a dinosaur-infested island. But that doesn't matter because the group leaves anyway, so we know Dieter's gonna die, but then again, I guess we already knew that was gonna happen the moment he trailed away from the group.
Is it dangerous? No, I would think so.
And do you see what I mean by pointless padding? Because this took up a pretty good chunk of time in the movie. This is about 2 hours, and that was completely pointless. They're not going to be able to make it to the visiting center on this day, so they do something that I would consider stupid. I don't know about you, but they decide to camp out for the night. Okay, if I was on a dinosaur-infested island, I would want to get off as soon as possible. Like, I get it, you gotta sleep to conserve your energy, but correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure predators hunt more at night than during the day. And speaking of predators hunting at night, what, that was 5 minutes without a T-Rex? So that montage of them walking and that scene of Dieter dying, that technically counts as one scene. So we have maybe one more scene that doesn't have the T-Rex in it. And you might be wondering, why is the T-Rex here? They've been walking for more than a day, or at least a day. So why is the T-Rex showing up now? Well, get this. It involves Sarah doing something stupid. But honestly, are you even surprised at this point? Back on the trailer when they were trying to fix the baby Rex's leg, Sarah got blood on her coat. Guess what? She still has it on. And guess what else? There's still blood on it. And she's well aware that there is blood on her coat.
You injured?
Huh? Oh no, it's from the baby. I said it's broken leg. It's not drying in the humidity.
But she doesn't even leave it behind or anything. Okay, seriously, what's up with the Rexes in this movie? Because that is just silly. Silly in a non-good way. Let's be real here, Kelly. Even though you had no idea from the beginning that this was a dinosaur island, you kinda sorta had this coming. See, this is why you don't tag along with people on a trip to an island you never heard about, uninvited. Question. How did nobody else except for Sarah and Malcolm not feel rumbling or hear any thuds? So everybody screams, gets up, runs, and we have our first T-Rex chase scene. Boy, the T-Rex sure is taking its time trying to get these people. In the first movie, he was able to keep up with a Jeep just fine for a while, but here it seems to have a little bit of trouble trying to keep up with these guys. Also, I have a sort of solution on how to avoid it. Why don't some of these people just kind of dip to the left and the right and not run in a straight line? The Rex corners the group inside of a waterfall that's pretty cramped, but it can't quite reach them. Well, that is until the dino expert has a snake on him.
Oh my god! Ah! A snake!
No, not the dinosaur expert! How will we ever know about dinosaurs now?
It's okay. It's okay. It's coming back!
Oh my god, I gotta ask again. Where did the T-Rex go? Did it just give up? Was it only hungry enough for one person that it didn't attempt to get anybody else? Do these T-Rexes just have short-term memory loss or something? If you look close enough before like the main chase happened, there were 2 Rexes at the campsite. What happened to the other one, you may be asking? While this one was chasing the group? I don't know, it was doing something. But for more important matters, Roland shot a tranquilizer dart at it. So it looks like he may finally be able to get his T-Rex that he's been wanting for several days. So now the group decides to run for the visitor center. But I guess this wouldn't be the Lost World without a very stupid plan on getting there. Running in very tall grass in the dark.
Not into the long grass!
Okay, so what time are we at now in the movie? Oh, okay. So now we've actually seen the Velociraptors for the first time. Is it me, or does it seem like the raptors were a bit of an afterthought? Like, they were good ways into the script, and then more than halfway through, they were like, oh god, we forgot to add Velociraptors in this movie. We'll throw them in here. Because in the first movie, the very first scene involves a raptor, and in the third movie, they come across the raptors pretty early as well. I think we're almost at the last third of the movie, and we've just now seen them.
Go. As fast as you can. Go.
Fortunately, Ian, Nick, Kelly, and Sarah managed to get through the tall grass without running into any raptors. But in return, they gotta go sliding down a slope. With an injured leg, Nick has to trail on by himself to the visitor center to call for help. After Ian's leg heals up a bit, they make it to the visitor center.
Nick!
Oh god, it's a raptor! Please don't do your "ing" again. So yeah, it's great that the raptors actually get sort of an action scene, but again, who do you think is gonna die here? The main character, the main character's girlfriend, or the main character's daughter? I'm gonna say none of them. But there is one part to this action scene that I should probably show.
Kelly? Kelly, no!
Hey, you!
You're probably wondering, what the crap was that? Well, similar to the Men in Black saucers, it was said in only one line, and it was never brought up again until now. Early on in the Lost World, when we were first introduced to Kelly, Ian brings up to Kelly that she's got a gymnastics tournament that she's been training for.
You got your gymnastics competition. You've been training for that for months.
Gymnastics? I scrubbed out, Dad. I got cut from the team. Thanks for knowing.
Now, in the Men in Black review, I mentioned that showing the saucers very early on, and not really going back to them until near the end, was a pretty clever technique. I don't know if that works the same in this case. Because in Men in Black, it's actually talked about a little bit, and it revolves around the story of why the Men in Black even started. But in this movie, it's just kind of like, blah blah blah, gymnastics. 2 hours later, I am just gonna gymnastics that Velociraptor to death. Literally. But yeah, I thought I might as well show that, since that's really the only memorable thing she ever does, other than sneaking onto the trailer in the very beginning.
The school cut you from the team?
But they escape the raptors in what may possibly be the shortest existence of the Velociraptors in the Jurassic Park series. And luckily a helicopter shows up just in time to get our heroes off the island. All seems relaxing until...
Take it directly to the infirmary at the complex in San Diego.
Oh god, they're not. Come on, this movie can be over right now if you just, you know, fade to black and show credits. Like, okay, sneaking onto a trailer, it's pretty stupid. Going to a dinosaur island by yourself, it's pretty stupid. Yelling through a megaphone as loud as you can on an island full of wild man-eating dinosaurs, very stupid. Taking a baby T-Rex onto your trailer with a very big possibility that the adults would find you, really freaking stupid. But come on, you cannot be stupid enough to bring the T-Rex to the city or anything, right? No, just, that can't be possible.
15 years ago, John Hammond had a dream. Like John himself, the dream was grand. It was outsized. It was bold.
No, I'm pretty sure they just kind of moved that T-Rex further into the jungle. I mean, come on, nobody can possibly be this stupid to, like, even think about bringing a full-grown T-Rex to a city.
100th the cost of building a destination resort thousands of miles away.
Is this the Ludlow affair?
This is private property.
No, we're on the list.
I'm sure that the characters know that there's no possible way they could control a wild dinosaur, especially a carnivore, one of the most famous carnivores in the dinosaur existence world.
I want to thank each one of you for being intrepid enough to turn up in the wee small hours of the morning.
Look, it may seem that way, but I'm pretty sure in a few seconds here, the screen is just gonna fade to black and we're gonna see the credits.
Look, that's our transponder signal, Venture 5888. They're headed into port, but I can't raise them.
Maybe the captain is just drunk.
Skipper SS Venture, this is NGen Harbor Master. Do you copy? Over. Skipper SS Venture, you are approaching the breakwater at flank speed. Reduce at once. Over.
Maybe he was like that other guy and is just listening to music with headphones.
SS Venture, reduce your speed at once.
SS Venture, this is NGen Harbor
SS Venture,
Master.
reduce your speed at once. You're approaching the docking area.
What's everybody looking at?
We should have stayed in the damn car.
Now, it's not like a ship has never crashed into something before. I mean, look what happened to the Titanic. Look, I know what everybody wants to think, but there is no possible way that they would bring a full-grown wild T-Rex to San Diego.